from the credit that has got penetrated to MSMEs, right? The credit access that MSMEs have. Because of that fact, we are also able to generate and create a lot of trends, insights, and analysis around it. I thought it would be a good idea to be able to bring some of that today, to be able to showcase what those trends and insights look like. After that, I will speak a little bit about CIBIL MSME rank. I think most of you CMR might have heard about it, and a few other things. Right? What are they? How can you access your own things? Then we will come to the Q&A session, is how we will progress. Now, from a overall industry standpoint, in the country there is 30 lakh crore worth of credit given to MSMEs as of March 2024. Now, as you can see, this is a continuous growth from a 19 lakh crore about a 5 years back. Right? And mind you, during these 5 years, lots have happened in the economy from a stress events perspective. We are all aware about it. I don't want to take too much time on lockdown, on global situations, on wars and various other things, right? But the credit in the country, in India, has continuously grown on MSMEs, and a lot of this credit actually goes back to the regulator and the government to be able to support the sector on a timely basis. As of today, there is 83 who have an active line of loan. Right? And by credit, that's the number which has also grown from a number of 52 lakhs 5 years back. Now, when medium are defined by us is based on the credit exposure, which is aligned to the definition of turnover. So, turnover definition is 5 crores and less is micro. So, the credit exposure size is less than 1 crore. Definition is 50 crore turnover. So, the 10 crore of the exposure is considered. So, micro has been small and medium others right? Micro has been the largest beneficiary of number of loans in the country. 68% of the loans are given in the micro segment as we speak, right? And 23% towards small and 9% towards medium. Again, I'm speaking on India level trends. For today's session specifically, we also brought in some insights on Odisha specifically, which are the key highlights for Odisha, right? How these trends look like for Odisha. So, as I want to move to the Q&A and few other things, I will skip a few slides, so please bear with me. I will make sure that the important ones which are relevant for today are the ones which are resonated. From a new to credit standpoint, so the company borrowers who do not have a credit footprint, who do not have a cash credit, overdraft, LC, BG, any type of credit from the banks, right? That's what is called NPC here. That is what the new to credit segment is. New to credit segment has
this is new to credit only to banks or non-banks also included?
Non-banks included. When I mean banks, institutional. So the 6,500 institutions include private banks, public sector banks, NBFCs, small finance banks, regional rural banks, cooperative banks, all of the spectrum. So somebody who has not got a credit from any one of those is considered a new to credit in this definition. So about half of the loans, 51% of the number of loans are given to NTC segment. Right? These are number of loans, and mind you, these number of loans on value terms can be very different, I understand, but from a number of loans standpoint. No, ma'am.
These credit for the first time. Before this, they were not having access to credit from any of the institutional finance. First time they have access.
Yes, ma'am. So the question is, so none of them ever had a formal source of credit is what sir is saying. And today they have an access. So what I'm saying is that in the formal set, the set that we discussed from private banks to cooperative banks, In that set, half of the loans that they are giving today is to new to credit on number of loans. Though the value, as I said, can be very different. And also to address, mention upon annuity loans are less than 10 lakh rupees. Most of these are less than 10 lakh rupees. 99% of them are less than 1 crore rupees. So that's on the new to credit side. Now, coming on delinquencies quickly, saying that how the delinquencies have looked like. And this is again a testimony of our country and what Reserve Bank, again, bankers, MSMEs themselves have done is the testimony of that, saying that the delinquencies are at their lowest level right now. They are even lower than the pre-COVID days. So the number of companies who are in default are actually less than the companies in pre-COVID days.
Sir, 51% as you said to new loans. What is the component of micro industries to this, or this is the entire loan sector? It can be car loan also, housing loan also.
Okay, I'll answer that. So the question, if you will hear, the composition of new to credit. Sir, today, whatever I speak is I will speak on enterprises. I will not today speak on car loans, credit cards, home loans. That segment I am not going to speak on today. Today, anything and everything that I speak, the entire session is, towards the enterprises loans. And within enterprises also, large enterprises are not being spoken today. So CIBIL also has data of loans given to Tata Steel, right? Just to give you a name. Okay. So the restriction here is that loans given less than to a company which is less than 50 crore rupees loan is the discussion point for the session. So yeah, I was mentioning the delinquencies are at their lowest right now. This is a slightly advanced cut for bankers, they will understand, is the vintage delinquency, that once you originate a loan, how many of them actually turn delinquent in next 1 year. This tells you portfolio level delinquencies will also have a factor of fast credit growth, तो आपका denominator बढ़ता जाएगा, numerator तो मतलब ratio में हमेशा कम होगा, right? So these vintage delinquencies kind of control for that, and vintage delinquencies are also at flat and are at the lower, I mean not as low as pre-COVID, but are not increasing or are at a flat, is also a state which is a good credit state in the sector. This is the point I was trying to make, that specifically for Odisha, I hope this slide is visible at the back. 44,000 crore worth of loans are given in Odisha to the MSME sector as of 31st March 2024. And unme delinquency level, as you can see, are at one of their lowest levels, 1.9%, 1.2% and 4.2% by NBFCs. Right? It's 44,000 crore. It's a pretty sizable portfolio of loans that the bankers here are managing in Odisha specifically. Now, ये तो हो गया portfolio कितना लोन दे रखा है, कितने लोग मिल रहे हैं is the next slide. So the slide that you see is one quarter, Jan-March quarter. उस quarter में the number of loans that are given, who has given those loans and who are in Odisha are actually given by public sector banks. Next is private banks, 25%, and next, actually not next is private bank, next is actually NBFCs, 28%, and then private banks, 25% giving loans in Odisha. If you remember the first number, country level पे total MSME loan पे micro is 68%, but for Odisha that number is higher. For Odisha that number is 72%. Micro enterprises within MSME set are getting 72% loan. Yeah, I'll just quickly repeat that. Total MSME, micro, small, medium, all the way turnover language में बात करें तो 250 crore तक turnover, right? Micro is up to 5 crore turnover. Right? So they are 72% of the loans are given to the companies with turnover less than 5 crore. Amount में ये slight different है क्योंकि medium sector में loan size बड़ा होता है, so amount में this will look slightly different. That's right. Now, On the right is the CMR. So I have a slide on CMR where I will speak about what CMR is, how is it made. For now, let's just stick to a fact sector. This is the credit score for MSMEs. Just जैसे हमारा as an individual CIBIL score है, it's a MSMEs का similar मतलब it's a easy comparison. Now CMR comes from 1 to 10. 1 is the best, 10 is the worst rank it can get. Right? Typically 1 to 6 is considered to be the good rank. Right? Typically 1 to 6, and that's what are the bottom 2 bars, stack bars are. Right? So 85% plus, 84% plus by all lenders, right, of the loans given in the state are given to good CMR borrowers. These are those MSMEs who have maintained their track record well. These are those MSMEs who are paying their loans on time and are continuously getting further lines of credit from the bankers also. So a large share of the credit is going to those MSMEs who are, demonstrating a good credit performance about 84%. Right, so that's some quick highlights. As Sir said, I have actually moved one section ahead. If time permits, we can come to that. That section has insights on manufacturing making the loans and trade making the loans and services making the loans, so that type of breakup. Now, I want to speak a little bit about what CIBIL does in the entire MSME space, other than engaging with the lenders. We work very closely with all the influencing parties of MSME ecosystem. So, last year there was a parliamentary committee on MSME, that how can we improve credit flow to MSMEs by, the committee was constituted by Parliament. So CIBIL also represented there and gave suggestions that what can we work very closely with RBI. Today's session is a testimony to that. Some of the points which Padmini also mentioned, that we help them analyze a lot of things. So sometimes the circulars that come are also based on some of the analysis that we might have helped them on. NCGTC, I think some of you might know, ECLGS loan or GCL loan, emergency credit guarantee loan. NCGTC is the body that runs it, right? The Atmanirbhar Bharat ke time jo scheme thi, right? 100% credit guarantee bank. We work very closely with them also to be able to help them, reach out to the MSMEs and give loans to MSMEs. We work closely with CGTMSC also, again the other credit guarantee body. Last but not least is SIDBI. SIDBI is a body where we have multiple lines of relationship, where we work with an MSME Pulse करके हमारी report आती है, publicly available report है. It's there on our website. It's there on SIDBI's website. You can access it. It's a joint partnership between SIDBI and CIBIL. Right? Like that, there are multiple initiatives where we work with CIBIL to be able to reach out to MSMEs better. ECLGS I spoke briefly on, right? As this is a report on ECLGS. Again, it's publicly available and accessible to see that how ECLGS loans were given. Some of the pointers that I mentioned. So I think Sir was saying that private banks need to do more in Odisha. ECLGS में actually अगर आप देखोगे तो private banks have given equal amount of loans as public sector banks. So private banks have also given a lot of loans in ECLGS. No. This is India. Odisha, I will call it out. I want to go to this slide first. Right? So we are doing a lot of cluster level intervention, right? Where we are going to the clusters. Again, it's a SIDBI and a CIBIL joint initiative, where we are going to MSME clusters and meeting MSMEs there and doing a credit education program about what CIBIL is, how can they access. On the map, the names that you see, some of these clusters we have done, right? And as you can see in the Odisha also, we have done 2 specific events, one in the Bargat district. Also done through sir your language in Odia, to your point, that in the vernacular language. So that's what we have been trying to achieve. But like you rightly thought out, sir, I think थोड़ा काफी vernacular में will make the improvements as we go forward. Now this is where I want to spend a few minutes on how can you access your own report, what CMR is, and various other things. So on CIBIL website, the website is cibil.com. You can access your own company's report, right? And to be able to access your own company's report, the best way to do it is GST OTP. If your GST OTP is functional, the report will come instantly, real time, then and there. Right? So my request will be whenever you want to access your report on cibil.com, make sure your GST OTP is functional, tested, working condition. So the report is immediately accessible then and there. So what's in the report? I'll come to that in a minute.
Yeah, actually, if you remember that time when we were discussing about MST, mostly the GST, because of they are filing EGS or whatever it is, the chartered accountant's number is given. I don't know whether
Exactly, sir.
so the OTP again, how the MSME will get. This is the practice. I do not know good or bad part of it, but
No, so then the chartered accountant needs to be available when you're pulling your own CIBIL report. What I mean is that when the OTP comes, you should be in a position to be able to enter the OTP then. If that fails, there is another process which I will speak on, you know, it's but for everyone's reference I will speak on. Then the process is a paper-based process where you have to email the KYC documents, you will do the KYC verification and then send the report back. See, the whole construct of this is report, individuals report or the company's owners, right? We need to make sure that we verify that and only then give a report. Otherwise, as I mentioned, Tata Steel, in my earlier example, I can go and pull Tata Steel's report, right? But that's not possible. So,
no, actually, that is again a tedious process. Like you will send their KYC, you will verify. So, I discussed with the association. So, suppose after filing also, if they can actually fill up the true account number, and is there a provision in GST to change the mobile number and those kind of provisions?
sir, I'm not fully aware to answer
But
that
this will
question.
try so that because again sending something to you, getting it back, that would be a tedious process.
Sir, absolutely right. Therefore, I started with saying GST OTP is the best way for you to access CIBIL. We are also working, that's work in progress, on Udyam number based CIBIL report. वो उसमें काम चल रहा है, but उसमें आने में मान लो 6 months down the line that service might also be available. 6 महीने बाद आप Udyam number से निकाल सकते हो report, right? उसकी भी API start. But तब तक I would say GST OTP is the best way for bankers, obviously, for MSMEs. Some of you who might have seen it. It's a company's report. You get to see all the loans that the company has taken, which lender the loan is from, which bank, which NBFC the loan is from, how the repayment has been, repayment in terms of your delinquency, default status. Right? The report will also have your score, CMR in this case, CIBIL MSME rank. Right? That's a screenshot of one of the sample reports. Now, in addition to all of this, the report for direct to consumer, as in an MSME, is summarized in a much easy to understand manner than what a bank or an NBFC see. So, for direct access, the report is different. It looks different, data set, right? Underlying data set, it looks very different, not different, very different than what actually a banker gets. So my recommendation would be for you to have your own direct access and access your own report. We have also started giving.
Sorry, I'm asking more questions. Yeah. Like there is a popular belief that the number of times I access this, so my credit score goes down.
Sir, thanks for the question. You know the answer for everyone. I will tell, but thanks for the question. Important question. The number of times has zero impact on score. No impact on score. You can check every day. I mean, nothing
And
changes.
it is free or chargeable. To check it through GST number, is it free or chargeable?
Sir, the report is free once a year as per the RBI on the individual side. This is a paid report, sir. This will be a paid report. The paid report has 2-3 options. One-time check option का एक fee है, right? Every day you can check. Annual subscription भी है, 3-4 subscription models हैं, right? वो website पे pricing है.
लेकिन ये क्लैरिटी होना चाहिए. आप एवरीडे बोल रहे हैं, फिर वो बोलेंगे मेरे को
It's common for individual and company both. Number of times you check your own report has no impact on your report. But sir का make sure that आप कितनी भी बार check करोगे नहीं होगा score खराब. But चीजें ज़्यादा frequently change नहीं होती. Right? So it's not actually required to check every day. Is the point sir is actually making.
Sir, for one time it is free.
Sir. Sir, चार.
Sir,
So it's not a public, government is not subsidizing them, so they have to charge.
Actually, if somebody makes a report, I mean, inquiry report every day maybe or every month maybe, the score may not affect. But if it hits to the bank, and if bank gets a report, the CIBIL score declines. Because one bank not giving a loan means the other bank, if you are applying for the same, again the bank will send for the report. So if 1 or 2 or 3 banks gives a CIBIL report,
Doesn't have an impact on the report. Banks checking your report on a very fast frequency. मान लो एक ही महीने में 4 अलग बैंकर्स ने इंक्वायरी करा है, तो उनका will have some, I'm underlining the word some impact on score. वो some impact on score सिर्फ individual score पे है, CMR पे कोई impact नहीं है. आपकी कंपनी के जो स्कोर है CMR, उसमें बैंकर्स की फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ इंक्वायरी से इम्पैक्ट नहीं है, क्योंकि उसमें यूजुअली इतना फास्ट इंक्वायरीज होती है. इंडिविजुअल्स में पर्सनल लोन सेगमेंट एक है, पर्सनल लोन वो भी स्मॉल टिकट पर्सनल लोन सेगमेंट जहाँ पे एक्चुअली और काफ़ी फास्ट इंक्वायरीज होती हैं, तो वो प्रोविजन सर मेनली उस सेगमेंट के लिए बनाया गया है. एंड फॉर दैट सेगमेंट इंडिविजुअल लेवल स्कोर विल गेट इम्पैक्टेड इफ lot of inquiries come in a very small period of time, but then the impact is also less. It's not very high impact. But for CMR, there is no impact.
sir, one CMR report rating is 8. There is no delinquency like any delinquency, but the CMR is 8 and no.
I would request if you can wait for it. I have a slide on it. I will answer your questions.
One more thing, sir, personal matter. Since my personal CIBIL score is very good, every day I am getting 5 to 10 calls for giving a personal loan or a credit card. The morning, good morning calls starts from, and it is disturbing like anything. Why the data is not, why the data is released to credit cards, and every day, I am chartered accountant, every day minimum 5 calls I get for a personal.
For example, I received around 6-7 calls yesterday itself for such loans or credit cards. So that is unfortunate part. Maybe whatever we are trying to that number blockage, but number of times we do again they call from another different number, and so those really do not work. And even we are in different meetings also. sometimes even unknown numbers, but if some urgency somewhere we will be able to pick up that call, they also save. So that is no different for you or us. But
Sir, if we can move, otherwise I have a lot more things to cover, and Q&A we will definitely open up. We can take these small questions which are relevant for everybody. Overall questions ले सकते हैं, बाकी questions हम थोड़ा. So the point I was making on the GST is that now that since you go to GST OTP, there is GST data that also comes in. Because of which we are able to do the GST analysis. GST में आपके sales, purchases, the entire data that comes in, it's a very good report on that. If you do it, I would recommend that you also look at this report. So it gives you a full picture, 360-degree view of how the business is functioning. Right? This is now to answer the question that gentleman asked. I will take a few minutes to explain what CMR is. Right? What CIBIL MSME rank is. CMR, as I said, comes in the rank number from 1 to 10. 1 is the best, 10 is the worst rank that you can actually get. The score is built using algorithms. These algorithms are trained using data of almost 10 years and studying more than 10 lakh MSMEs in the country. And the score at the back end has 20 different 45 crore rupee loans are scored differently. They both get a CMR at the end of the day, but they're both back end mein our algorithms are completely different for these two type of companies, right? So for the bankers and for the companies themselves, it is easier to get only one type of an output. So we do the heavy lifting कि उसको सबको scale करके सिर्फ CMR scale में कैसे दिखाना, that's what we will manage. Now CMR only comes when you have exposure less than 50 crores. Right? The moment 50 crores threshold crosses, CMR will not come. Right? Your report will come, all the information that I showed will come, CMR will not come. As I said, CMR is made up of many models. Right? Some of the models are, looking at customers who are डिफॉल्टर्स, पास्ट डिफॉल्टर्स, क्योंकि सिविल का जॉब है हर किसी का सीएमआर होना चाहिए. तो कंट्री में एज आई शोड यू एवरी टाइप ऑफ बोरोवर इज देयर. देयर आर डिफॉल्टर्स, देयर आर नॉट डिफॉल्टर्स, एंड बीच वाला स्टेट है जो पूरा नॉट डिफॉल्टर भी नहीं है, डिफॉल्टर भी नहीं है, कुछ मान लो एक पेमेंट मिस हुई है, समथिंग लाइक दैट सिचुएशन वाले केसेस में तो सबका बैकएंड में हर किसी का स्कोर और मॉडल अलग है. अगर आपका रिपोर्ट में एनपीए है, एनपीए का मतलब है ओवरड्यू है, राइट? तो माय रिकमेंडेशन वुड बी फर्स्ट get that cleared, otherwise CMR will not come in the range of 1 to 6, right? If there is a NPA or if there is a more than 90 days past due type of a loan in the report. If there is no NPA, let's say the report looks clean, right? But there is overdue. Let's say there is a 30 days past due type of a situation where you have missed one payment or two payments. Then also the CMR can get to CMR 8, 7, 9. But the CMR in that situation can also get to CMR 3, 4, 5. Even with a 30-day past due type of a situation. That algorithm studies कि ये chronic behavior है या ये one-off event है, वो सारी चीजें स्टडी करके the algorithm actually puts the right CMR and 8 somewhere around that. And if there is no any form of delinquency, then the CMR is highly likely 1 to 6. Now highly likely between 1 to 6. And the last point on CMR that I want to explain is how the rank comes is that in this, I would say if your rank is between 1, 2 and 3, I'm not just saying 1, I'm not saying that. 1, 2 and 3, Olympics वाले माहौल में अगर podium finish है, right, 1, 2, 3 है, then the bankers look at that case exactly the same. They don't differentiate between a 1 and a 3. ये मेरा practical experience with working with banks, right? The 3 is the similar treatment as 1. So that's the first situation I would say. 456 is also a good CMR. Right? 456 is also not a bad CMR. Bankers also look at them, but sometimes they might have an interest rate discount for 1 to 3. That interest rate discount may not be there for 456. It may not be a loan rejection type of a situation, but it might be an interest rate type of a situation between 1 to 3 and 456. Yeah, so that's on CMR.
Yeah, can I go to the previous slide? Okay. Actually, you are taking 10 years data. So, like for diabetic study, 3 months HbA1c data. So, the weightage for the immediate preceding month is much higher than the first month. So, here also same way. If I have defaulted, suppose 9th year or 8th year, that weightage will be less than the default in first year or second year preceding year.
Thanks again, sir, for the question. You are asking very valid questions that I'm missing out on. Yes, so sir's question is that if there is a recent default, that will have a higher negative impact on CMR than if the default is old. But I will also make a point, sir. Anything in last 24 months, and especially an NPA in last 24 months, will not get a good CMR. That's going to be the situation. It might range between 7 and 10. It might come to 7, right? Not be a 10 if the NPA is very old NPA, but it will not get a 1 to 6 until it crosses the 24 months window. Right? And the way it is done, sir, another point. Okay? Average company level report runs into 50 pages. Average. Maybe, you will see a lot of things which are 100 odd pages long. For a banker to scan through all of them and say कि कहीं किसी में कोई NPA default तो नहीं है, CMR का एक job हो गई.
Actually, suppose I was a defaulter, then there is a one-time settlement. Okay, I have repaid and that loan is closed. So then, what is the?
Sir, if the banker has reported to, let's say, 12 months back as an NPA, after that everything got closed and the loan got closed and everything got cleaned up. Right? Till that 12 months doesn't go beyond 24 months, it will not.
No,
it will keep reading.
No. My question is, it is not repaid everything. Through one-time settlement, I have paid part. Okay, so bank has compromised. There is a compromise settlement. Then that also gets reflected.
Report.
But not in the rating.
Not in the score. Score, because score is already handling that behavior through delinquency, DPD. तो वो DPD से handle हो रहा है, but point is important. Settlement का information report में capture होता है.
Thank you.
Does it have any impact on the overall rating? But does it have any impact on the overall rating of the?
और months के आधार पर
इसका वो one-time settlement हुआ है.
Suppose bank says somebody has an NPA.
I'll come next.
Somebody has an NPA. So, sir, 2 months back and he has cleared that NPA. So, loan has been settled. How much time it does take to reflect to the CMR report so that it becomes okay?
Oh, I think you also had a similar question, right? The settlement का impact है. And answer both the questions together. अगर 2 months back कोई NPA था, settlement कर दिया, close कर दिया. अगर बैंक ने उसका पुराना रिपोर्टिंग चेंज नहीं किया, मतलब 2 months से पहले मान लो अगर उसको रिपोर्टिंग आई उसकी NPA फ्लैग के साथ सबस्टैंडर्ड आया, डाउटफुल, right, रिपोर्टिंग आई या DPD में आया, it showed 120 days past due and that is still showing in the report 6 months back, CMR will pick up that 6 months back का 120 days past due, right, and will throw the rank as CMR 7 to 10. To answer your question, settlement हुआ लेकिन पास्ट रिपोर्टिंग क्लीन नहीं है तो CMR चेंज नहीं होगा.
Because of the bank's fault only, the loan will suffer. Loan will naturally suffer for bank.
how to address this? like let us say, even if it's 6 months, let us say now it's August, in 90 days or 100 days past due, so I was LPA substandard, and in March I have repaid. Okay. Repaid means I have not compromised, I have paid entire overdue of both interest and principal. Now, because it is within 6 months, it will go to 7 to 10. So this issue, actually, why I am flagging, it recently, this incident, like if I am repaying, but I am not getting a new loan, or actually there was a difficulty at that point of time, because of which I defaulted, and I repaid, I didn't seek any compensation. But thereafter also no improvement, and bank will not cooperate with me or whatever. Slightly repeating the purpose.
So, no, sir, such a scenario should be differentiated with a customer who has paid the loan back on time. If I make the same treatment, then I'm making the same treatment on CMR. Right? So, I will have a lesser penalty in situation which is probably engaged during last month. Right? That is understandable. But the 12 months back settled case and NTA and clean for last 12 months needs to be shown differently as the one who is completely clean for last 24 months. Is the way.
Someone we need to think about it from customer perspective.
Point taken.
Actually,
Feedback taken.
anyone can have a difficulty in the cycle. Cash cycle, there can be difficulty. So, and he is not having the intention of not repaying. His situation improved. He repaid everything. Then also, like his score has not improved. Then he is suffering. So just think from that perspective.
I made this point, but I still again want to make a final concluding remark on that is that credit to MSMEs have grown. It grew even in the COVID year when credit to the retail segment actually shrunk. Right? So the MSMEs, and you saw the recent budget announcement also on MSMEs. CIBIL is in constant engagement with RBI and all the parties around us to be able to support and work together to be able to support credit flow to MSMEs keep growing. Credit has grown, delinquencies have reduced, interest rates have increased, right? Macroeconomic situation we have said. So the things are moving in the right direction. We should keep moving in the right direction. What you see on the chart is it's more from the banking fraternity also. Is the initiative CIBIL has taken over a period of time, right? That CMR came in 2017. MSME Pulse is a document on thought leadership which talks about MSME sector on a regular basis. You can access that on our website, it's available on our website. We work very closely with the NKDC on the ECLGS scheme that came in. As we speak, the Bharat Connect sessions like these we are conducting across India, which I showed you a few of them earlier also. So yeah, so we are working very extensively towards MSME sector. This slide I will skip. This slide is basically talking about the benefit of connecting Udyam to CICs. Right. So I think with that, I have one more section. Just do the time check.